Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we're here to talk about the 5th studio record from US punk band the Menzingers. It is called After the Party. This is a band that has been gaining a really passionate fan base over the years, and coming up to this record there was a lot of hype and it was one that I have been really anticipating. And I tell you what, we have an early contender for album of the year with this record. I know it's early, but my god, this record. This is a punk rock record that is a lot of fun while still having an emotional center which pulls you in and won't let go. So let's get into it. Telling Lies opens up this record perfectly. It's a sing-along song that's really upbeat and has a great vocal performance. This is a song that I can see being perfect for the Menzingers to open up their set with now. It just puts you straight into the mood. And the song gets you stoked to hear the rest of the record. And the guitar playing is a big standout on this track. There's some great guitar interplay, especially in the verses. Really cool. Thick as Thieves then opens up with a solo guitar riff which then slams into this massive band intro, which just sounds great. The vocal performance on this track is awesome as well. There are two vocalists in this band, one that has a bit of a cleaner voice and one that's got a bit more grit to it. I do prefer this vocalist, the one that's got a bit more clean to his voice. It sounds great, and this song is just a perfect example of how good of a vocalist he is. I really like how in the verses, instrumentally, it's a little bit softer, a little bit cleaner, and then in the verses, these dirty guitars come in and really make that chorus massive. It's really cool. And the drumming is also a real standout on this track with some really good tom playing throughout it. Lookers is one of my favourite tracks on the record. It opens up with just vocals and guitar, and it's the perfect way to open up this track. This track has a real road trip vibe to it. It's one that you can just put on the car and drive to, and once again, the guitars are a little bit cleaner on this track and they drive the song really well. And the chorus on this track is one of the highlights of the entire record, especially vocally. He puts this weird vibrato on his voice in certain phrases of this chorus, and it just sounds awesome. This record sounds like a band in a room playing songs that they love. You can hear the passion in every single note, and there's nothing that sounds disingenuous or like they're pandering. The songs are really well written, and every single track has something in there to make it stand out and make it different from the song previously, even if it's just something that's subtle. Midwestern States then comes in, and it's another highlight of the record, and it focuses more on a relationship. The lyrics on this track are so awesome. They're poetic and relatable, something that a lot of people are going to connect to. And the chorus is once again massive. It's one of the catchiest moments on the record. This song stands out in an album full of incredible songs, and it's a song that I can see them playing for the rest of their career. Charlie's Army opens up straight into a chorus, and it doesn't hold back over its short duration. It's a much different song in terms of structure than we've heard from the record so far, and it's a real nice change. It makes it really interesting. It's a song that really you could just imagine them just jamming it out in the studio one day, and I love that feel to it. This vocalist just has an amazing ear for melody, and his chorus, especially on this track and all the way throughout this record, just brilliant. House on Fire is again one of my favorites on the record, and it just launches straight into a chorus. And once again, it's one of my favorite choruses on the record as well. In fact, I really do think this song is probably my favorite on the record. And the thing that really grabs me with this track is the vocal melody and the way it's delivered. It's so instantly catchy, but above that, I don't really know how to describe it, but it just grabs me. And the instrumental is also really interesting. There's some cool lead guitars going on all the way throughout the track, and just the overall tone to this song is something that I really enjoy. And the two vocalists on this record both perform brilliantly. From their delivery to their lyricism, there are really no faults that I can find. They have contrasting voices, like they're similar but they're different, and it's not jarring going from track to track when each one is taking the lead on different songs. Black Mass is up next, and it's a softer song which is a little bit less up-tempo. I really love the more percussive drumming on this track, and really the bass is driving this song along more than the drums. And I really love the little additions of synth throughout this track. It really adds a lot to the atmosphere of the song. I love hearing a more introspective song on this record just to add even more variety to this record. Boy Blue is next up and brings that up-tempo feel back to the record, and is another great track. I really like the guitar playing in the chorus and the main riff to this song. It works so well with the vocals. It just sounds great. And there's also a really nice contrast between the verses and the choruses, with the guitar almost disappearing from the verses completely. It's one of the grittier tracks on the record, but it fits in perfectly with the overall tone of the record. Bad Catholics is another song that hooks you from the very first note. There are some awesome lead guitar parts all the way throughout this song. especially though with this really cool interplay that the two guitarists have in the verses. And the drumming works perfectly all the way throughout this track, using a lot of dynamics to really set the tone for each section. This record overall has a really great road trip feel to it. It's just one that you can drive to. The tone that this record sets from the start is one of having fun, yet has a lot of personal and emotional themes to it. The songs sound fun, but yet the lyrical content is something that's a lot deeper and is something that you really want to listen to. Your Wild Years is one of my favorites from this record and is once again focused on a relationship. The lyrics on this track particularly are really creative and poetic and just work so well. The chorus on this song is one of the best on the entire record and really is going to be one that you're going to be struggling to get out of your head. The vocal harmonies also work so well on this track. It really makes that chorus even bigger. The bars opens up really interestingly. It's a bit more of a grungy, sludgy track with a lot of fuzzed up guitar, and it's a lot different from the rest of the record and it works well. And it also includes a really more aggressive vocal performance than we've had for this entire record. And I think this song is going to be more of a sleeper favorite for big fans of this band because it doesn't have that instantaneous chorus that a lot of the other songs have, but overall this song is just so great. It's not as upbeat as the rest of the record, but it's a welcome change. It's one that really adds a breath of fresh air to this record and it just works well. After the Party is next up and brings back the feel that we had on a song like Your Wild Years. There are some great lead guitars all the way throughout this track, especially some that are used to break up each section. And I really relate to the lyrics on this track specifically. They're written so well and delivered with great sincerity. It's a perfect choice of song to name the whole record after and really encapsulates what this whole record is about. Livin' Ain't Easy is a more down-tempo track and is the perfect way to close out this record. It's a really nice punk rock track which, if you listen to it in the right way, could almost sound like a ballad. And there's some really interesting effects that are used on both the guitars and the vocals on this track, and it's a really cool experiment to hear. It's just the perfect way to close out a brilliant record full of brilliant songs. Overall, this is an incredible record from the Menzingers, full of absolutely great songwriting and great performances. The vocals really set this record apart, but really the whole band come together to put out something that is just really special. Now look, I was really hesitant last year with it being my first year being a music critic, if you want to call me that, but I didn't put out any perfect scores last year and I regret doing that. There are 5 or 6 records that came out last year that I could have easily given perfect scores, but I just didn't for whatever reason. And looking back now, I wish I had. Not only that, but with this record, it is nearly impossible to choose the top 3 tracks, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. And my top 3 tracks are House on Fire, Midwestern States, and Your Wild Years. And I'm gonna give this record a 5 out of 5, an absolutely brilliant record that you should all be checking out. As I said, an early contender for album of the year. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below and I'll see you next time. Fresh Currents. Yes!